Hello, hello. Good morning. Happy Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025. I am the freshly coiffed and made up today, Manila Chan. That over there is the always dapper Ted Rall, obviously. Obviously. I think Clovis does all your grooming, Ted. Is that right?
He does. I don't like to trim his claws too closely because he would lose his special touch.
Yes, because Clovis is a talented cat. Cats are very, very good at grooming, self-grooming.
Mhm.
So since he's at home with Ted, he grooms Ted, in case anybody was wondering. Just saying. So you are tuned into the Ted Manila Information Show, the TMI show for short, because we bring you way too much information. We're live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. So please be sure to hit the like, the follow, the subscribe, the thumbs up, smash that thumbs up button, all that like stuff, and share the show wherever you're consuming this content. It really, really goes a long way to help us grow as we continue to try to scrape together some semblance of a living. Since Ted, none of us have our jobs back yet because I don't know. Trump hasn't overturned any of these Biden sanctions.
No good reason. Yeah.
Yeah, and censorship still reigns supreme. That's why. So we're still here until, who knows? Maybe someday we get them back. Maybe we don't. I don't know. But until then, if we start growing the show, I mean, hey, we become our own bosses. That would be kind of nice too, Ted.
Would I be your boss, or would you be my boss, or would we be sort of like Ronin?
Ronin?
Ronin, like a Ronin is a samurai, a Japanese samurai who has no master and roams the land free.
Oh, when you said Ronin, I thought of like Ronin Pharaoh, and I was like, I don't.
No, not like Ronin Pharaoh. He also
think
has no
any
master.
of us. He has no master, and totally that Woody Allen's his dad.
Oh, 100%.
Woody Allen's our dad too.
Anyone else? That's true. Woody Allen
I think he'd like to be my daddy.
Is also, yeah, I'm sure. I hate to say this, Manila, you're way too old for Woody.
Even now, though? I mean, he
had to make do.
Like 85.
I know, but he likes them young.
Sunyi Previn, I think is around my age.
She's about your age. Yeah, she is.
Yeah, like she's in her mid 40s now, I think.
Yeah, it's true. And and honestly, they seem to have a good relationship, but who knows?
Such a weird family. What a weird. First, we go into Ronin Pharaoh. See how quickly this show just devolved.
We devolved. Manila, we've got some breaking news that we need to talk about. Besides the garbage bag being thrown out of the White House window, which I assume you've heard about. Scott Stantis called me a few minutes ago and said that there's footage apparently of garbage bags being thrown out of the second floor of the personal quarters of the White House, where the president lives. So
what?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. There's no reports if there was a high-pitched Slovenian accent saying, Donald, get out! Take your shit and get out! That'd be awesome. Like, he comes back. He comes back driving. He pulls up in like the Ford LTD, and there's
his clothes are all strewn all over the lawn.
Over the lawn. Yeah, exactly. Like, get out! It's my house now, bitch.
What would happen, Ted, if a POTUS were like going through a messy divorce? Could the wife then be like, "You need to leave"?
Well, yeah.
You get out.
Yeah. She could get a restraining order if she claimed that he hit her or something or threatened her. She could go to a judge, and she'd end up living in 1600, and he'd have to go move to the Naval Observatory or whatever. What's that? Would
that really be the case though? Do you think that could actually happen?
Or Blair House, right? That's where they live when things are going on.
That's the guest house. Yeah, right. The Blair House is the guest house. So theoretically, could that actually happen? Like if it was a male POTUS and FLOTUS claimed he beat me, I want him out.
Yep.
Would the police treat this as any other domestic?
Is it theoretically possible? Sure. I don't know if it would happen, but yeah, it's possible.
That would be something.
It would be.
And, I'm telling you, I've heard some nasty. I've done reporting on it from an old a retired Secret Service guy that told me some
Don't worry, by the way, and
stories.
we're Frasmataz, we will be talking about the earthquake.
Oh, we are. That's the main story. So yeah, that's
Also,
the
other
Clintons.
breaking news that we should talk about. Yeah, and it's, by the way, that this might explain Donald Trump's relative silence over the last 5 days, right? Like maybe he's having marital issues, and
Really?
so maybe that's what's going on. But also,
What on
uh,
earth could it be after you've married all these years and all this
a
shit from
federal
Donald
judge
Trump?
has just ruled that Trump's deployment of National Guardsmen to Los Angeles is anti-constitutional and violates the Posse Comitatus Act. So
That's an interesting little bit also. And Ted, by the way, a little bit of history yesterday, because we weren't here. It was Labor Day. I did not realize that yesterday was only 40 years ago, the 40-year anniversary that oceanographers discovered the Titanic wreckage.
yes, that's right. They
Only
they
40 years?
they
That's it?
literally because it's very deep, and they didn't have the submersible technology to find it. It was like, it's kind of like they knew roughly where it went down, of course, but
Wow.
but they had to, they couldn't find it. I mean, the ocean holds
13
its mysteries.
13,000 feet underwater.
That's very
A
deep.
mystery for
Now,
73
granted, if
years.
they'd had a Ukrainian yacht diver,
I was just gonna say, if you had a drunk Ukrainian
mhm,
on a personal yacht,
would have been done years
they
ago.
would've had they known.
Yeah, they should have
That's
just
where
gotten a
the
Yuki.
best divers come from. It's
That's right.
just like
That's
Ukraine.
right.
We didn't know
They
that.
would have just gone down there, putzed around, taken some
Not a
pictures.
problem.
Yeah. Maybe they would have
12 minutes, done.
they maybe could have just floated it back up and arrived in New York City safe and sound.
Right.
Better 100 years
Brought
later
it
than
up.
never. Yeah.
So there you are. That was yesterday, that day in history. All right, so let's get to the main topics. What we're talking about today. First and foremost, that horrific Afghan earthquake that happened. I guess at this point, less than 36 hours ish,
Yeah,
something
30.
like that.
Yeah, it was Sunday night. Yeah, so it's about,
Yeah, so
that's right.
roughly 36 hours at this point. The death toll keeps climbing.
Sunday night
Um,
Afghan time being
yeah,
Monday, that they're about 12 and a half hours ahead of us.
jeez.
So,
Okay.
yeah, they have these half-hour things there.
Yeah,
So
that's
so
very
basically
confusing
it's going to be, so I guess that would have been Sunday morning for us. So that
for
means 2
us.
days. It's been
Yeah.
48 hours. Um,
Okay.
that's been, we should definitely talk about that, and in the
And
context
the call for help coming out of the
largely
Taliban, and
unanswered.
it's going to be unanswered, and we'll get into that.
Mhm.
Then also more big news, as Ted rightly predicted all of this, that once the floodgates get opened, of somebody finally standing up, with France standing up to Israel, other countries have followed suit ahead of next week's UNGA meeting. This time, Belgium
Mhm.
weighing in. That's a big deal. Then a quick mention of the SEO that wrapped up, or it's wrapping up, I should say, tomorrow. It's a few days meeting, which I would say it's basically BRICS, Ted, but
Yeah,
it's BRICS security, I would
that's
say.
that's right.
That's a fair summary, and we'll tell you what happened there. And then last but not least, Ted, they were saying that with the advent of technology, and especially now with AI, that AI was going to take all of our jobs, right? Starting with the lowest end workers, at the McDonald's and whatever. Turns out you were wrong. Everybody that thought that, you were all wrong. Turns out AI is coming for the upper middle class white collar jobs, and only the low end jobs will be the ones to survive, Ted. Like working at Taco Bell, which was my very first job, Ted.
It
Very first
was
job. It was my
tough.
very first job.
Wow.
1995, maybe it was 1996. And I had training for a whole week. I learned how to stir in the dry beans, the what do they call it? The not freeze dried, dehydrated. The dehydrated beans. I learned how to make the burritos and work the cash register. My first day out of my week of training, I walked in on an armed robbery at Taco Bell.
You did?
Yeah, sawed off shotgun, and it was a Bonnie and Clyde
Wait, you
thing.
were there?
Yeah, I walked in as the robbery was in progress.
Like for your
saw
shift?
for my shift. I walked in for my shift, and it was
And did you
an
say, "Stand
armed
aside,
robbery.
bitch, I want a burrito"?
It was they seemed really confused when I walked in all casually because I didn't know that robbery was happening. And yeah, I was this teenager. I just
So
came in like
well, that's terrifying. So how many robbers were there? 2?
a boy and a girl, a guy and a girl.
Oh, well, it's at least there's equity in the bank in the Taco
Yeah, it
Bell
was a
robbery.
Bonnie and Clyde thing. But that was my first job was at Taco Bell.
Wait, you're just
And
gonna
good
wait,
to
wait, wait, you
know.
can't just, like, skate over that. Like, okay,
What?
so, well, I mean, shotgun guys, the shotgun couple
Sawed off
comes in.
shotgun. Yeah.
Okay, so what did
Well,
you
so look,
do? Did you run out the door?
no,
What
when I first pulled up for work, I pulled up a few minutes early, and I'm listening to whatever tape I think it was The Cure. I had the
Quiet
tape
Riot.
in my
Come
car.
on, feel the noise.
No, I was listening to The Cure,
Girls
I'm
rock
sure.
your
It was
boy.
in my
Sure.
tape
We'll
player
say it. We'll say that.
in my 1988 Nissan Sentra, vinyl
Mhm.
seats, no
Hello,
air
Sentra.
conditioning,
Hello, Sentra.
crank windows. And I remember because I distinctly remember sitting there with the windows down, and I was like, oh, it's almost time for my shift. I had to crank the windows up, and I saw this Ford Probe pull up,
You know,
and they parked.
probes are famously a robber car
It was a Ford Probe hatchback. I
in
think it
Europe.
was
The
that's what it's
probe.
called, right? The Probe. And they I remember they backed into the handicap space, which is right like the back door to the Taco Bell led right to that handicap spot. And I didn't
A
think
person
anything
who
of it
could
until I
park
saw
illegally in the handicap zone is capable of anything.
two able-bodied people get out, and I
Oh,
thought, "What assholes."
little did you know what assholes they were.
And right. So they walk in, and I'm like, "Okay, I have a few minutes. All right, time for my shift. Crank up those windows, turn off the Cure. Okay. All right. Head in." It's dead silent in Taco Bell. I'd look around, didn't see the customers, and I thought, "Oh, maybe they're new hires too." So I open the door, I go in, and I see straight ahead of me is this dude. I didn't look down. His arm was straight down, and he was holding the sawed-off shotgun. And I didn't look that far at that moment. I just looked, and he was kind of leaned into the manager's office, and her name was Nellie. I could see Nellie's face through the little window, and she looked concerned, and then she made eyes at me, and then he looked at me, and then I look over to the left, and I see the girl over by the drive-through window, the Bonnie.
Mhm. The
She's
robberette.
demanding the robberette was demanding a large iced tea
Hey,
and
while you're there,
to have our lead cook Maria make food. So remember, I'm from
so
the
in no
hood,
hurry
people.
here at all.
No, they were in no freaking. So I didn't notice that there was anything wrong at the moment. So I proceed to like go to my little locker and put my bag away and just like doo-doo-doo. And this guy suddenly barks at me. He's like, "Hey, face the wall, nose to the wall." And I'm like, "The fuck is wrong with you, dude? Like, hey, welcome new employee." That's what I'm thinking. And I look down and Nellie's looking at me going, and I look down and I realize he's holding a sawed off shotgun.
That might have been your first clue. Yeah.
We're getting robbed. But I didn't look that far. I was a teenager walking in to my first job thinking I'm like some grown up, and it was Taco Bell was getting robbed.
Well,
So that
you had a very grown up experience.
it was but again, I keep telling people I'm from the hood. People don't, I'm from the hood. This is the border of Whittier and East LA. So it is the hood. And it was the 90s, and it was not great. But that was my first job experience, and it was Taco Bell. So I'm happy to actually hear a Taco Bell story where they're actually saying we are going to keep people employed.
Wait. So
So
did they
to me,
get
it's
away
a
with
good
it?
story.
Let's skip ahead. Did they get ahead? Did they leave? And did they get
Well,
money?
yeah, yeah. So nobody
How
was
much money
injured.
did they get? And did they get
I don't
away?
remember.
Were they ever
Several
caught?
$1,000s.
Did they hurt anyone?
Several thousand. No one was hurt. Several $1,000s were taken. Nobody injured. They were assholes, and they took 2 large a Mountain Dew and a iced tea, and they had poor Maria terrified, trembling, making burritos for them, and then they made off through the back door. And because I came in when I did, I saw everything. I saw the car. I saw what they looked like.
Mhm.
I mean, I saw everything. I could describe the car. I vaguely remember
So then
their
obviously the cops
license plate.
came.
The cops came. I gave a statement. I had to testify against them, and yep, that's
Oh
them.
wait, so
Like,
they were caught.
yeah, later. Because
Oh,
I saw their car. Mind you, this is the, like, early mid-90s, so it wasn't
not a lot of
like
people
today where there's
driving, but not
cameras.
a lot of people driving probes back then.
No?
It was not a popular car.
Really? And there weren't a lot of cameras, obviously, so my eyewitness testimony helped get them. It was
Mhm.
a dark, a purple, remember people like the sparkly paint
Oh
back
yeah,
then in the
oh
90s?
yeah.
It was that
Particularly in California.
That's right, it was that purple sparkly
Mhm,
paint.
mhm.
And it, like you said, not a whole lot of anyway, those people got caught. I don't know whatever happened to those people. It
Oh
would be
no,
really
they're
weird
now
if
both cabinet members.
probably. They are
Yeah,
here. They followed me to Washington.
yeah.
But yeah, that was my first experience with work, and it was at Taco Bell. And again, to me, this is like coming full circle to hear a Taco Bell story, keeping people employed. And I think that's wonderful. And I hope other fast food chains follow suit with the story we're going to tell you about with
All
Taco Bell.
right.
Anyway, so
Jaws
let's
it.
let's get to it. Let's jaws it.
Quick follow up on that
All right.
posse
All right.
comitatus story out of LA. That's going to be a big deal. This is a big win for Governor Gavin Newsom. He filed that suit. All right,
Oh,
so let's go here.
all right. All right. So
Rescue.
with the Afghan quake, no, that's me.
Oh, you reading? Go ahead. My
My turn.
apologies.
It
I always
says
consider
Manila.
Afghanistan to be mine, but anyway, go ahead.
No, you're going to have the commentary because
Nah,
you practically lived there.
that's true.
So with Afghanistan, rescue teams obviously continued to scour the mountainous regions of the east in Afghanistan for survivors today, as the death toll from a strong earthquake has now risen to over 1,400, with thousands more injured. That's according to a Taliban official. Quote, the injured are being evacuated, so these figures may change significantly, says Yusuf Hamad, a spokesman for Afghanistan's National Disaster Management Authority, talking to the AP. Quote, the earthquake caused landslides in some areas, blocking roads, but they have been reopened. I don't know if that's a good idea. And the remaining roads will be reopened to allow access to areas that were difficult to reach. The 6.0 magnitude quake struck late Sunday night in several provinces, flattening villages and leaving people trapped under the rubble of homes constructed mostly of mud bricks and wood and unable to withstand that kind of shock. The quake is Afghanistan's third major quake since 2021. Afghanistan is situated on the Alpide belt, the world's second most seismically active in the active region, where the Indian and Eurasian plates meet. The country is located atop several fault lines. The majority of the casualties were in Kunar province, where many people live in steep river valleys separated by high mountains. Helicopters are being used to evacuate those injured to any nearby hospitals, and aid agencies said their teams were making journeys on foot to reach the most isolated areas because of the very rough terrain and the demolished roads. The Taliban government has appealed for international help. And Ted, I think that's going to be all in vain because us in America, Washington, are petty, petty, petty. And given how the Taliban basically waited us out and then kicked our asses, we're now not going to help them because we don't, even though we supposedly stand on the principles of the United States being this beacon of light and help around the world, coming to people's rescues. I don't think that's going to happen here. I mean, we saw this with the Syrian earthquake when Bashar al-Assad was still the leader there. Their massive earthquake, right? We didn't go help them. We just let people, children, old ladies, be buried under rubble for days and days and days until they all perished. And I think that's going to be the same thing here with Afghanistan. There's going to be thousands more people discovered to be dead. because we're not going to come to the rescue because we don't like the Taliban. So screw those people, screw the innocent civilians, because the US will take collective punishment. Even though it's not like these people voted for the Taliban to be their government, it just is who it is. And we're just going to stand by and be like, no, we're not going to help. Yeah, no comment.
Yeah, I mean, look, the United States has led the world. Let's face it. It's kind of like in the same way that once France recognized Palestine, the floodgates opened. If the U.S. were to recognize the Taliban government and open full diplomatic relations and get rid of the sanctions, so would the whole world, right? The world is taking our lead here. And what did the Taliban government do to the United States? I want to be really clear. First of all, this is Taliban 2.0, not Taliban 1.0. Secondly, Taliban 1.0 had nothing to do with 9/11 whatsoever. What the Taliban had is pissed off. I mean, what the Taliban has pissed off the United States is they had the temerity to win. They defeated the United States hegemon, and they humiliated them over 20 years. Now, the Afghan people sustained a lot of brutal treatment from U.S. occupation troops during those 20 years, and a lot of and they were humiliated and treated like shit. Now, the Taliban, all they're doing is trying to get it together and run things. Now, it is disgusting for the U.S. to have any sanctions whatsoever imposed on the Taliban or on Afghanistan, because neither of them has done anything immoral or wrong here. And like, we may not like their form of government, but I don't like our form of government, and I don't want anyone imposing sanctions on us either. Right. So anyway, the point is, sanctions, as we've seen, only impact the people. They don't impact the powers that be. And this is a classic example. Now, Kunar province, for people who are familiar with the geography of Afghanistan, is to the far east on the border with Pakistan. So it's sort of between Jalalabad in eastern Afghanistan and Peshawar in western Afghanistan. And just to put this into sharp relief, this is a very dangerous part by Afghan standards. It's one of the most dangerous parts of the country to Americans and Westerners. Jalalabad is and Peshawar was the gateway that supplied the Al-Qaeda and the Taliban before 2000. And it's full. This is in Waziristan. It's full of the Haqqani network type people. So this would be a challenging thing for Westerners to do. On the other hand, if Western aid relief, including the U.S. and the Red Cross, were to come in, this right here is an amazing chance to win some Afghan hearts and minds at a time when they're really vulnerable and in a lot of deep shit. We should come in there and we should open diplomatic relations with Afghanistan. And we're not going to, and people are going to die unnecessarily. It should also be pointed out that it's September, which means that up there in the mountains, you're near the Hindu Kush Mountains, it's high altitude. It's already getting fucking cold at night. So people have lost their home. People have lost their homes. At night, it can be 10 degrees at this time of year. So it's like,
wow.
And like, it might be like 50 during the day. So it's the misery is going to be brutal. These are desperately poor people. It's not an agriculturally rich part of Afghanistan, not like the South where it is. So relatively. So, you know, I mean, these people desperately need help. Unfortunately, the American people do not care about the Afghan people, and there's not going to be any political pressure whatsoever from the media or from the Democrats or from anyone else to do anything here. And this shit, to be clear here, is bipartisan. The sanctions started with these sanctions go back to Bill Clinton, and every president has kept them up ever since. I remember going to visit a hospital during the late 1990s, early 2000s in Afghanistan, where the doctors said, we don't have any medical supplies due to U.S. medical sanctions. And I said, but according to Clinton, there's no medical sanctions. He said, that's bullshit. We haven't seen a fucking Band-Aid. So that's how it is there. We're total scum when it comes to Afghanistan. And this is just the latest indignity. Now, I'm hoping that the Pakistanis who are right next door will provide some assistance. Their military certainly is in a good position to do it. They're familiar with that kind of terrain. They have that relationship. The inter-service, the ISI intelligence agency has been back and forth through there millions of times. They know it really well. Smuggling arms to the Taliban back in the day. So this falls to Pakistan.
Well, are there any of the other neighboring countries that are on good terms with the Taliban government, like the other Stan countries, Azerbaijan? They're pretty wealthy.
Well, Azerbaijan's very far.
Closer than us.
Probably the best relationship is with China right now. And they do border just barely Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And the Chinese have been trying to make inroads and they've hinted that they may recognize the Taliban, but they've been kind of very careful in dragging their feet. I would expect to see a major relief operation from Pakistan, possibly, and China as well. This is a big opportunity for the Chinese to get in there. Also, they're trying to get those mineral rights in eastern Afghanistan. So this is
That's true.
I know President Xi is reading this news with great interest.
Yeah, I just wish the humanitarians that we claim to be here in America, I just wish it were true. I really do. I wish it were true. When you see, like, you think of third world countries, and then you see this, and you're like, wow, people still live like that in 2025, Ted. Like, these aren't even, like, you'd be hard pressed to even call these villages. I mean, they're just like random little, like, mud huts, basically dotted throughout the mountain.
Yeah, Frasmataz is asking, is Herat unaffected? Yeah, Afghanistan's a big country. Herat's in the northwest by the border with Iran. This is on the exact opposite side of the country. So
yeah, neighboring Pakistan. So I hope you're right, Ted. I'm very disappointed that in 48 hours there hasn't been one U.S. agency
by the way, this is not a
that has
major
said
earthquake,
a fucking word.
This is not a major earthquake.
Not to California. A six is like, but
and by Afghan standards, 6.8s and 7.2s are not unusual. I mean, it's a very seismically active part of the world.
But the fact that because it happened in this neighborhood where the people are, I mean, like I said, like, you think of poor, and then there's this, and there's, like, they don't even have building materials. Like, they
use adobe construction in these little towns, in these little villages. I mean, Jalalabad's a real city, but they have some buildings of some height and some
Kunar.
But Kunar province is definitely the sticks, and it's very agricultural. Anyway, yeah. So it's adobe construction. So as soon as the earth starts a rocking, the house comes falling down because there's no rebar, right?
Ted,
there's nothing holding the house together.
Not one U.S. aid agency has said a fucking word. Not one.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
So I thought we're the humanitarian saviors of the world, Ted. No,
it's not the government of a country should be an irrelevant matter here. But yeah, by the way, the Taliban want full diplomatic relations with the entire world.
Right.
So this is not on them. Okay. I mean, not to mention, we withdrew and we knew they were going to be the new government, right? If we didn't like it, we should have stayed. And so, we basically we turned over the keys to the car and said, hey, you guys drive, because we don't know how.
We don't know how to drive it, but now we don't like the way you're driving the car. But it's like, you weren't offering a better solution. Like, there wasn't, tried for 20 years and it didn't work.
No.
So this is what kills me with when I look at that poor country. I have a handful of Afghan friends who are near and dear to me, the families, and it's just sad to me when you see, I mean, my family's from a poor third world country that the US destroyed, right? Yeah. So I get it. First, it was the French occupation, but that wasn't, the French didn't destroy it. They were, your peoples were nice colonizers. They didn't enslave any Lao people. They actually did some cool stuff, but the whole idea of being a colony is not great.
Colonial architecture, because they did in Vietnam.
They did. They did all. So, like, the French were not evil colonizers, I have to say, with Laos. It's just the whole colonizing, the idea of colonizing is not good to begin with. But anyway, I digress from that.
Great in Gaza.
But My point is, when the U.S. came in, even without colonizing it, with 10 years of dropping bombs in Laos, the U.S. never went to clean that up either. And they're like, we don't like the communist government that won the Civil War, but we'll have relations with you, but we're not really going to help you all that. We're not going to clean up our mess. I know 1/3 of your country is unusable, and we did that, but we're not in love with the commies. So we're just going to not break it and buy it. We're just going to not do that. We're just going to leave. And that's basically what the US did to Laos. And that's basically what the US is doing to Afghanistan. So for me, I view this very similarly. And it pisses me right off that this is what we do. The fucking policy, Ted, everywhere you go is you break it, you buy it. It's a known thing. At every store, anywhere in the world, you walk into any shop, if you break their thing, you have bought that thing.
Now, in fairness, Afghanistan's been broken over and over by the Persians, the Brits,
Sure,
the Russians,
the
Brits, not once, not twice, but 3 times, the
Wow.
Americans. And Afghanistan always
the most recent.
Yeah, Afghanistan always takes its toll on invaders.
They're all.
But yeah, no.
All right, let's move on.
It's disgusting.
It's a shitty thing. We were the last ones to break it. Sure, you're right that I feel like everybody should take responsibility for the toll that they took on someone else's
it's like
sovereign
the Haiti
land.
Of Central Asia. Everybody's in there fucking with it all the time.
But we were the last ones to occupy it for 20 years. We broke it. We should have bought it. We just didn't.
Not to mention, it's geopolitically strategic. It's not, Afghanistan's not itself very important or interesting. But come on, I mean, it's literally the passageway on the Silk Road between China,
the land rights,
Pakistan, Iran, Russia, all the former Soviet,
you imagine?
All the Central Asian republics. Yeah, it's an important place. It's like in between everything, It's like Sacramento.
It's prime real estate.
Sacramento is near a lot. It sucks itself, but it's near a lot of important shit.
It's prime real estate,
yeah.
like the surrounding neighborhood, because it's near-ish Silicon Valley, right?
Yep.
Sacramento.
San Francisco.
It's right by San Francisco. You can
Lake
get to the Bay in like an hour. You can go skiing. Exactly right. Sacramento is kind of,
yeah.
But it's the location of Sacramento itself, and this is Afghanistan. So the U.S., if we were smart at all, this was like your opportunity right now.
Friends with them, yeah.
Go be nice to them.
Much better
Go
investment
help
than
some poor
Ukraine.
people. I agree. Oh, I agree. Are you kidding? Can you imagine
the Afghans aren't invading, aren't threatening any wars either?
Can you imagine if we dumped that kind of money from Ukraine into Afghanistan? Oh my God.
Be gorgeous.
I feel like the Taliban, there's a price. Everybody's got a price, Ted. I feel like the Taliban would be like, well, you give us $100 billion. Okay, maybe girls go school not so bad.
Yeah. Look, you can't buy Afghans, but you can rent them.
So it's like, maybe we're not so anti-girls learning to read with $100 billion. Or as Zelensky says, give me $1 billion per month. War will continue.
Yeah, for sure. All right,
next story. Let's go.
Here. My turn. Okay. Belgium will recognize Palestine and, this is my favorite part, impose sanctions against Israel over its genocide against the people of Gaza. That, according to the Belgian Foreign Ministry, the Western European country, which hosts both the HQ of the EU in Brussels and NATO, also in Brussels, unveiled the measures on Tuesday as pressure grows on Israel to reach a ceasefire with Hamas and allow some aid into the enclave. In light of the humanitarian tragedy in Gaza, Belgium has decided to increase pressure on the Israeli government and Hamas terrorists, Belgian Foreign Minister Maxime Prévost wrote on X. This isn't about punishing the Israeli people, but about ensuring that their government respects international and humanitarian law and takes action to change the situation on the ground. Sanctions include a ban on import of products from Jewish settlements in the West Bank. And there's a lot more of that than you might imagine. And restrictions on consular assistance for Belgian nationals living in settlements considered illegal under international law. So this would be for Belgian settlers in the West Bank. Sorry, guys, you can't just get consular assistance. You have to leave there. Brussels will also review procurement involving Israeli companies, and it will blacklist 2 extremist Israeli ministers, several violent settlers, and Hamas leaders, Prevost said. That last part's completely symbolic, of course. He added that Belgium will push for the suspension of the EU's trade agreement with Israel. That's a big deal. Israel has rejected UN warnings that famine is happening in Gaza, where at least 63,500 people have been killed since October 2023. West Jerusalem has pledged to allow the delivery of aid, but not through distribution points it claims are controlled by Hamas. So basically, the Israelis are still playing games here. But, UN General Assembly is happening here in New York City very shortly. And I think you're going to see even more activity from other countries in the coming days.
Yeah, Ted, you were spot on about that when Viva la France, when they decided to open the doors to that, like, who'd have thunk Canada was going to step in and do it? I mean, did that happen when it was it still Justin Trudeau at that time?
No.
2 months ago? It was Mark Carney.
Australia. Yeah, it was Mark Carney. Australia. But anyway, lots of
so
countries.
all these Western states have followed. So I'm very curious what'll happen at the UNGA this year, because I feel like this is the topic at the UNGA. Like, this is it.
Trump's trying to keep the Palestinians from being allowed to attend by revoking their visas. So I'm sorry, all you're going to do is attract more attention. The party's going to happen whether you like it or not, Donald.
Streisand effect.
Yeah, exactly. Better to be quiet.
Streisand. It's the Streisand effect. Just, I mean, this is you try to silence them and be like, no, don't even let them speak. Don't let them don't even invite don't let them come. Don't let them show up to the gates to the party. But then everybody's like, hey, why is Mahmoud Abbas standing outside of the gates? Like, how come he can't come in? Like, it just gets
this
worse.
Might be the dumbest news of the day. Trump will move Space Force. Space Force. I bet you didn't know it's currently in Atlanta. Oh, sorry. It's currently in Colorado. I guess it's probably affiliated with the U.S. Air Force Academy or something.
Yeah.
Or NORAD is in Colorado, right? It's going to go to Alabama, in the land of the free. Sweet home, Alabama. Well, when you think of space, you think of Alabama, like the space between people's ears. No.
What is there?
Scott Stantis, among other things.
Is it only for Scott that they're moving?
There's some
Trump
beach.
Is moving this?
There's some beach there.
I'm just trying to.
Anyway, okay. Alabama. So Alabama, if you look,
land is cheap.
Alabama's a little closer to the moon than Colorado. So.
Yep. Because Colorado is up high. So technically,
that's closer to the moon.
It puts you closer to the moon.
Shit. But wait, what if it's coming from the other side? Like, what if this is at a time when the U.S. at night is facing away from the moon, and then so like technically, then the shallower part is actually closer if you go through the Earth.
Well, this is going to
towards
suck.
The moon. I think he's planning to drill through the Earth.
I have a family member who is a major. Well, he was in the Air Force, but he transferred to Space Force.
Are you serious?
So he's a major.
Sorry to laugh.
He's an officer.
So he's not an officer. He's not a space cadet.
No. He's an officer. He's a major. He hasn't. If that news just broke.
Spager.
No, I call him cousin major. Major cousin.
He's a spager.
I call him major cousin.
He's Major Tom.
So I'm going to ask him that he lives in Colorado. He lives in Colorado, obviously, because Space Force was there. And now that it's not going to be there.
All right. Well, Robbie West is telling us that Huntsville, Alabama has a space facility.
Really?
Who knew? All right.
Huntsville. Okay. Well,
now you know.
I was going to say, Ted, I think land is really cheap. So if they're planning on expanding, like, The real estate is very cheap in Alabama.
Mm-hmm. Not as cheap as the moon.
No, actually, I think the land on the moon would be very expensive
to get to.
because it would. Well, because it's cost prohibitive to not only get there, but then when you can get there, I think the land would be very expensive.
Why?
And remember, there have been, because I did a
remote.
whole special on this.
Not to mention there's the whole no air
The
problem.
the scammers. So there's internet out there.
What are you talking
It's
about?
like the ISS. The ISS uses like they have great internet on the ISS.
Okay,
So the moon would have great internet.
Well, not yet. We don't have Moonlink.
Well,
we have Starlink.
They will because they can, because the ISS has it. So look.
There's no.
So I did a whole special with believe it or not, a space lawyer.
Okay, not a space sea lawyer.
A space lawyer, and he told me because this is like an emerging
hilariously
field.
backside of nowhere saying the new $250 visa fee is a deterrent.
So the space lawyer told me this is obviously an emerging field, and there are new law schools being put up since Donald Trump introduced Space Force. It's now become like a thing for all of these like first world nations to hurry up and get on this whole like international space treaty conversation. They're trying to develop like a Geneva for space. And this is what this very prominent professor of space law told me. And he said, oh yeah, there's already scammers out there that are trying to sell
off the moon
plots on the moon. He's like, yeah, he sent me some stuff to look at. I was like, wow. And he's like, yeah, I've already addressed a few cases where people tried to bring a lawsuit against the gamers. They bought moon property, moon lots.
The moon. Well,
just saying.
Okay.
Just saying. So, all right. So, okay. Now coming back to Earth, let's talk about the SCO. Just crazy.
SCO.
This is the world we live in. SCO. So the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, which I say is just BRICS security group. So they say they should continue to resist hegemonic and power politics to help build a fairer international system. That's according to Chinese President Xi Jinping speaking yesterday as he opened the group leaders meeting in Tianjin. Delivering the keynote speech to the leaders and representatives, Xi invoked what he called the Shanghai spirit of mutual trust, mutual benefit, equality, consultation, respect for diverse civilizations, and pursuit of shared development. Those are new ideas to the West. President Xi praised the progress made by the SCO since its founding in 2001 and outlined new priorities. He said members must oppose the Cold War mentality, any bloc confrontation, and any bullying practices, terms often used by Beijing to criticize U.S. and Western policies. Quote, we should advocate an equal and orderly multipolar world and a universally beneficial and inclusive economic globalization and make the global governance system more just and equitable. Imagine that, Ted. The regional groups, that'll never work. Are you crazy? The regional group's collective economic output has now reached $30 trillion, according to President Xi, adding that its global influence was expanding accordingly. Members are working together to address challenges, including security, environmental issues, and innovation. China's cumulative trade with SCO nations has surpassed $2.3 trillion, highlighting projects under Beijing's BRI, the Belt and Road Initiative, and some other mechanisms. President Xi pledged further investments, including in education and in the training of scientific and engineering skills required to sustain future growth. More than 20 nations from Asia, Europe, and the Middle East are participating in the Chinese-hosted gathering this year, as well as representatives of leading international organizations, including the UN and ASEAN, which Laos is a member of ASEAN. So I think, Ted, all these things that President Xi is saying, he's like singing "We Are the World." Like, how gay. That'll never work. It's just not. No, I'm kidding. I'm obviously being sarcastic. I love that he's preaching all of that stuff. I love it's basically the same stuff that you hear out of BRICS, right? Like the BRICS, the whole point of that BRICS union isn't just to counter like Western hegemony in terms of like banking and the G7. It's not just that. It's that the whole ethos of the group, right? The whole founding, the ethos of the entire BRICS organization, as well as the SCO. It, like I said, it's just BRICS security is what the SCO is to not, it's not meant to counter, let's say, NATO. It's not meant to counter, but the US, the way the West views things is often in this binary, like me good, you bad, us good, them bad. That's how the West always looks at things. It's always a zero sum game. Whereas, and this is coming from an Eastern culture person that was born and raised in the West, Eastern cultures are founded in a we society, because it can't work if you don't join together as a we. So not to sound, all we are the world, but I mean, truly, that's the only way that the global South is going to get ahead at this point, because obviously war is really passe, even though the U.S. is trying to still make that a thing. But the SEO says, hey, that's not a thing. Let's try to be equitable and try to mutually care for each other. And for example, like Russia's special economic envoy, Kirill Dmitriev, he says that within the SCO, unlike NATO, and I'm putting words in his mouth, but that's how I'm comparing it, is unlike NATO, that no one bothers anyone. that's the distinction, Ted, from the SCO and NATO. That's literally his quote. He's like, no one bothers anyone. Can you imagine? What kind of security pact is that, Ted? You don't bother people? What the fuck?
It's really funny. No, it's a complete look. The Chinese have a completely different attitude toward, soft power versus hard power. And the U.S. is obviously all about hard power, increasingly getting away from any attempt to pretend to be into soft power. So it's really nice to see, that there is there's a rising opposition to this. I mean, look, I'm not saying that China's system is the perfect system, but it's certainly nice to have that. Their approach to international affairs is certainly a lot more appealing than the American one.
Yes, I think a spirit of cooperation, espousing cooperation as like the first tenet of your group, I think says a lot. It's like saying you want to be friendly. Weird. All right. So our last story, fun story for the day. Ted, I'm gonna let you read this, because it's more likely that AI is going to take our jobs than these jobs.
Thank you, Manila.
As it turns out.
Maybe so. Last year, Taco Bell made a simple bet that Alexa-like voice assistants could handle the drive-through window. That's if they don't have President Trump handling it. It didn't consider whether people could handle dealing with AI. According to the Journal, the Wall Street Journal, the company embedded AI at drive-through boxes at over 500 locations and found that it made mistakes, creeped people out, and got very easily manipulated. We're learning a lot. I'm going to be honest with you, Taco Bell Chief Digital and Technology Officer, CDTO, Dane Matthews told the Journal. One of the lessons, people really like messing with AI, like ordering 18,000 cups of water, please. If you browse Taco Bell Reddit, there are employees and bellheads, as they call them, alike lamenting the AI takeover. One employee posted that the AI assistant started telling people that the restaurant was out of everything except for drinks and sauce packets. A person attempting to order a chalupa supreme with onions from the AI ended up with 3 chalupas, or chalupai, as I would say. When they tried to replace meat with beans, the AI simply said no. So things aren't going great, but that's not stopping Taco Bell from moving forward. The fast food staples parent company, Yum Brands, recently announced a partnership with NVIDIA with the goal of improving the tech that powers its AI, including the order takers. Taco Bell isn't alone. McDonald's started infusing its operations with AI earlier this year as well, with the goal of improving order accuracy. Hilarious. Wendy's partnered with Google to bring an AI chatbot to its drive-thrus, and specifically started training the model on Wendy's specific lingo so that it knows that JBC is short for Junior Bacon Cheeseburger. White Castle is getting in on the action as well, bringing AI to over 100 of its drive-thrus with the help of speech recognition company SoundHound. A scan suggests that these efforts are not going very well. McDonald's reportedly ditched some of its AI interactions with customers after it kept messing up orders. People have also taken to social media to complain about having to deal with the Wendy's AI, finding it to make a lot of mistakes and also be creepy. All of this seems to be leading to the inevitable conclusion that is completely counterintuitive to the pitch of AI. Matthews, the tech guy at Taco Bell, said that when a restaurant is super busy and has long lines, it's probably better to get humans to handle it. So,
So
yeah,
what's the point,
like,
Ted?
okay, so, I use AI
Why invest
as
in all this
you and I
money,
both use,
though?
you and I both use AI to prepare the show, right? Like, so we will put in like the story topics, and then we'll tell AI, like, come up with a description, and then I'm sure you edit it, I edit it, but it gives me sort of like
Yeah,
the
I tell it to
basis.
summarize a story, and then I
Yeah.
edit, and
But the thing is,
so
I will sometimes, like, let's say there's like 4 stories. Sometimes I'll be like, there's, how come you're only telling me about 2? And I'll say, what happened to the other 2? And I've had the AI come back and say, I didn't think those other 2 stories were very important. It's like,
really?
sassy, are we? Yeah. So, mhm.
Oh,
So
I
that's a little
haven't done that.
disconcerting. It has a mind of its own.
So okay, so that's the part that's scary.
That's
Okay,
the
so
Hal part.
I have not yet come across, well, truth be told, I don't eat takeout very much, right? So I would not have encountered an AI drive-through because I don't consume takeout very much.
So you're saying that you
But
would go to Taco Bell, but you'd eat inside the restaurant.
no, but I want to now go to see if I can interact with
Mhm.
the AI. Like, I just want to see, because first of all, if this thing is telling you, if it decides to just tell you, like, at which store and why did at this particular store did the Taco Bell AI decide to tell the person in the drive-through, "Sorry, this Taco Bell is out of everything. We only have sauce packets and soda." Like,
Mhm.
why would
And
why?
but Manila, pursuant to your story at the beginning of the show, how does AI handle an armed robbery?
Right. If
I'm sorry. We don't have money. We're not a bank.
like what
Or I'm sorry. Go
there's a
fuck
lot of
yourself.
questions here.
Or whatever.
So if AI is becoming smartassery enough to tell you, Ted, I only gave you 2 of those stories out of the 4 because the other 2 that you gave me are
Those aren't.
shit.
Yeah. Go with the 2 I gave you. Well, what's coming up. It'll probably be like, Ted, how about this other story that you didn't cover from Vanuatu?
But then AI hallucinates I've seen it hallucinate with me. I got in
It
fights
does
with it.
hallucinate. Yeah, no, it makes up things. Like, I was researching
Yeah, I
a
got in
column
fights with it.
yesterday, and it made up something completely about Representative Summer Lee, and it said that the DNC had, like, not had endorsed her opponent. It had not. It's not true. So, and I was like,
I got
well,
in a
you
fight
can't
with
use
it
that.
with ChatGPT. I got in a fight with ChatGPT, demanding it bring receipts because I brought mine, and I put it in its place because it told me that RT was straight up Russian propaganda.
Mm.
I asked it what it thought of RT and Sputnik. And I got in a fight with it one day.
I wonder what Grok would
So
say. I bet it wouldn't say that.
I haven't checked Grok, but I checked Chat GPT, and then I got it to explain to me why it thinks these things. But then I brought the receipts and I fought it. And then I won. And I said, well, stick that in your memory and proliferate that when other people ask about RT or Sputnik. So I wonder, I don't know how fast food. So remember how that when they first introduced TED, I remember at airports, they first introduced the kiosk, right? At the airports where that's how they tested it, is can customers order their own burger, right? At the kiosk at McDonald's or whatever, right? And then they rolled those out at real stores. What's wrong with that? Why do you need AI? Why wouldn't you just, instead of investing in AI, why wouldn't you just invest in a drive-through board that can come closer to the car, and then you just boop, boop, boop.
Or for that matter, it's just voice recognition technology, right? I mean, it's trying to be too smart by half. I mean, seriously, like, I mean, okay, now granted, I don't know if you've never ever noticed this, but sometimes I'll go to like McDonald's, and the person in front of me will literally be acting like they're at Lutece, and they'll be like, "So the double whop, does the double Whopper? I mean, that's BK. Does the quarter pounder
Big Mac
what kind of like lettuce does that come with? Is that grass fed or
no?
like literally, there's just like what?" And I'm like, you're at fucking
that,
McDonald's. It's like, it's fucking food. It's corporate.
Just
like,
fill your stomach and go.
Yeah, get the fuck out, right? And so, I mean, it's literally, and these are not people who are like, pod people who are not from Earth. These are people who've lived here for a while. I'm like, what's going on? Anyway, that's an aside. But like everybody aside from them can walk into McDonald's and say like, give me a quarter pounder, a quarter pounder meal. And you know what you're going to get. Like, sure. Why can't you pull up there and just say, I'll have a quarter pounder? And it should be, would you like the meal or would you like just the sandwich? And that's it.
Right.
Like, you don't need it to sort of you don't need AI to be like,
you don't need it to think.
Well, do you really mean you'd like a fish witch, or what would you like?
Right. Or like in Taco Bell's case, it's like, are you sure you want the Nacho Supreme and not the Burrito Supreme?
You look like a Burrito Supreme kind of person.
Like, why?
I've taken the liberty of ordering a Burrito Supreme for you.
Yeah. Yes.
That's
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then that's why customers are complaining and saying this is creepy, but they didn't elaborate on what the creepy interaction was.
My problem with AI is not the fact that it makes mistakes, is that it makes mistakes with great certainty. It's like the same criticism that I used to have about George W. Bush and his claim that there were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. They didn't. If in 2002 and 2003, Bush and Cheney and Wolfowitz and all those people had gone to the American people and simply said, we kind of think that maybe Saddam has WMDs, so we'd like to go to war for that. Everyone would have been like, we're not going to war over kind of maybe. So therefore, they made it up and they said, we know for sure that he has them and we know where they are. Okay, so the certainty principle is what, and of course, if you say you're sure and then you don't find them, by definition, you lied because you said you were sure. Like, you said you were sure. So you weren't sure. That's the lie, right? So that's the problem here with AI. It's not the fact that it's wrong. Any machine can be wrong, but it's the fact that it's totally like if you ask it for quotes, maybe by yourself, like, give me quotes from Manila Chan talking about Russiagate. I guarantee you it's going to make up some stuff that you didn't say.
Oh, for sure.
And it's going to say, and it'll say like, on August 18th, 2019, she, Manila Chan, interviewed by the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, said this. And it's like, you never talked to the Atlanta Constitution about it at all, ever. Maybe never talked to them ever. And you never said this. And it'll just say that with great certainty. Yes. That's the fucking problem.
Yes. And like, we're seeing this at the lowest, at the pettiest level is a fast food drive-through. but it's just it should highlight how upstream, right? If you're looking at more advanced jobs to be replaced, right? By AI now, right now, so many of these jobs are already getting replaced by AI. This should show you how not
It's not
ready.
ready. It's
It's just
not.
we're
But,
not fucking there.
and
If
this
it
is the this is
cannot
my
get your
other
taco order
my other
correct.
complaint here is that the U.S. always introduces things. Remember beta testing? Beta testing used to be like done on the DL. So back in the age, like if we were still like in the 1980s, what would happen if there was this new thing called AI introduced back then? Is that the company would have tested it like internally. They would have like
Yes.
their own like facilities and they'd pretend like they were driving up to it and they would test it. Or maybe they would have some outside consultants test it as well. But they're not going to put it in a mall,
They would do blind taste tests, Ted.
they're not going to put it in a mall in Bethesda. They're not going to do that. Not until they're sure it's ready. Here we live in a fucked up world where we're a nation of beta testers. We're like, oh, we're going to put
COVID, Ted.
self-driving
COVID.
self-driving cars. We're going to put them on the streets of Boston, San Francisco, and New York. Like, what's the worst that could happen? I don't know. It could drive through it. It could run over people. I mean, it could drive
And you
through
don't
a store
want
window.
a Tesla? You don't want a Cybertruck going through the middle of Times Square? What are you saying?
Yeah, what could go wrong? I mean, it's like literally like it's not. I'm not even against the idea of self-driving cars. They're just clearly not ready.
We're not ready. We're not there.
They haven't tested them enough.
And I feel like this story, I know it sounds.
There will be fuck ups, but they haven't tested it enough.
On its face,
I remember,
if you
like
read
in
this
New York,
article.
in New York, we have self-driving trains. We have there's an air train that connects the subway to JFK Airport, and there's also the L train, which has that has an automated component, which is one subway line that connects New York to Brooklyn, Manhattan to Brooklyn. Anyway, those trains were tested rigorously for years, and you know what happened when they first tested them? Empty. They derailed a couple times. They got stuck a couple times, and they had to keep working out. They didn't just like put people on them and say, "Hey, have a nice flight." I mean, it's like that's
Good
what
luck.
they do now. Yeah, sucks to be you.
Good luck, everybody.
I'm driving. Yeah, I'm taking a cab. See ya. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I hope you I hope you reach John for dinner. Good luck. Well, so I thought it was, on its face, it's a fun story that I put in there for, Taco Bell or whatever. And, on its face. But if you actually think about it, I think that the thing that I would like for the listeners to take away is that on its face, it's trivial, right? It's a fucking drive-through. It's trivial. It's goofy and silly. I would love to know what the user experiences were that called it creepy. Like, what did it say to you when you ordered your like extra sauce burrito? Like, what did it say to you? Did it turn it to sexual innuendo?
I was gonna say like, would you also like a genital piercing?
What could be creepy, like at a Taco Bell window? But okay, so on its face, that's what it is. But that
burrito will sure look good under your tits.
It's so gross. But the real story here, Ted, why I put that in there is part of the conversation is to say that corporations and big tech are trying so hard, desperately trying to foist AI on us in every fucking aspect of life. And it's just not there. Like you said, yes, it's great that this technology is available.
Cool and interesting. But
I love the concept, but it's not ready.
And as
Stop
people,
trying to
you and
foist it on us.
I literally use it every fucking look. Seriously, even something as simple as like graphics. Like if you try to, we use it obviously. Like you, me, and Robbie use it to produce thumbnails for the show.
And I made the thumbnail on Canva today.
It is retarded though. It's really sometimes you're just like, I don't know why this is so difficult. Like say you're like, give me a picture of, it's weird. It'll do complicated things really well. If you were like, show me Trump as a rabbit, and it would create a really cool, weird Trump rabbit. But if you were like, show me Donald Trump wearing sitting on a sofa, sitting on a blue sofa, there's
In
a
a polka
strong
dot
chance,
suit.
or even just like normally, there's a strong chance the sofa won't be blue, or it won't even
Yes.
be a sofa. I mean, it'll be something completely else.
I did that
Like a
today with
rocking
the
chair.
thumbnail. So the Canva AI, I'd never tried it before, but the Canva AI said it it said, "Give me just 5 words." I was like, "5 words? That's all?" Okay, because usually I like design it somewhere else and then I put it into Canva and then I use the word
Mhm.
art and whatever. And in this instance, because Canva introduced its own AI, right? Like
Mm.
image AI. So it told me to give it 5 words.
5 prompts. Okay.
Words only, not even sentences, words.
Mhm.
I went, "Okay. Um, Afghan man, despondent, earthquake, rubble."
Mhm.
And that's what it gave us, today's thumbnail.
Uh-huh.
And like you said, when you give it like a wide, I guess, wide,
The man doesn't look
um
despondent. I'm looking at him right now.
that's his
Oh, yeah, he
it gave me
does.
a couple. He does. He looks sad. He looks a
Yeah, that's
little
true.
worried.
Mhm.
So it did a pretty good job. And in other instances where I've been more precise with AI, it just fucks up, like completely fucks up. So I don't know if it's like I got to experiment more, but AI for sure is here. It's in our lives. It's not going away.
No.
The toothpaste is out of the tube, but right now it needs to be
And you know
used
what it can't
as
do
an
also,
assistant.
Manila? It cannot come up with things that are publicly available like URLs. If you were to say, for
What do you mean?
example, give me the URL, give me the URL for, give me like list the top 20 news websites and give me their URLs. It'll get a lot of the
Oh,
URLs wrong.
really?
Yeah,
Like, so it gives you bad links?
it actually just makes them up. Or like email addresses. Like it'll be like, oh, we'll just assume that everything's in the format ted.rall at whatever. And it's like, but you have no reason to believe that, and not to mention it might be an email address that is publicly available on a website, which Google could find, but basically the AI can't find. So
Interesting.
it's very peculiar and strange.
And so Ted, wouldn't that mean Taco Bell's AI order taker, would that mean it is internet connected or not
I
necessarily?
That's a good question. I would think it would need to be because it's
Yeah, would it?
drawing on so much. It's drawing on so much data, but I mean, not necessarily. I mean, if it was just, I don't know. It's a good question. I mean,
Because I'm
maybe
I'm
it should.
dying to
I
know
don't know.
why it was creepy, why many users experienced they felt it was creepy. Like, that was a quote, "It's creepy."
It didn't say
What was
why.
creepy? No, it didn't elaborate on why. But none of I'd like to look into why, like, did it say foul things to you? Did it flirt with you? Did it did it say you looked fat, you shouldn't eat this burrito? Like, what about using it was creepy?
Okay, it says that its inability to handle the nuances of real conversation
No, but
makes it feel
that doesn't make it
uncanny,
creepy.
and
But
the overly
that's not
cheerful
creepy.
tone and slightly off kilter tone was unsettling.
I don't know. I just feel like if it's connected to the internet, I feel like there'd be an easy way for hackers to hack into the drive-through of, Taco Bell store 1467 and be like, "Hey, fatty, you sure you want this burrito?" Ha, ha, ha. Like, it's it's just not a good idea. Like, I just leave the teenager at the window. Like little Susie or Bobby taking your order at Taco Bell is just fine. Yum Brands, stop it. Yum Brands owns Taco Bell, KFC, and Pizza Hut.
Mm.
So there you are. Anyway,
All stores that I really basically never frequent.
Me neither. I mean, not because I was robbed there. Well, they didn't actually rob me because I had just put my stuff in the locker.
Did
So
they
I didn't.
steal any of the
Manila didn't personally get.
Did they steal any of any of your coworkers' personal items?
I feel like they did because they made everybody like empty their pockets, and I had nothing in my pockets, and I was like, I guess he didn't notice that I just put my stuff in the locker, but I emptied my pockets and there was nothing there. So.
Well, they do say that criminals aren't the brightest people.
Yeah. So maybe he just didn't notice that I literally just walked in.
So,
I'm just lucky I didn't get my head blown off, Ted, that I didn't spook him, that I walked in stealth like a ninja.
I mean, look, I'm not against automation in general. I mean, for example, bridge tolls, that's a miserable fucking job that involves sucking up carbon monoxide fumes and getting robbed by people like the people who robbed you. So it's like,
they literally get robbed?
Oh, yeah, it happens all the time if you think about
it.
The
toll booth people?
Yeah, because think about it. You pull up with a gun. You're like already in your getaway car. You're like, give me all your coins, bitch. And then you take off, right? So like, it's a terrible job. So they're replacing those with Easy Pass and stuff. And that's great. Like, that's totally how it should be. But there's definitely like, look, there's jobs like teaching. They want to, psychologists. No. They want to replace all that with like, no.
Oh, I'm glad you reminded me. I need to find the article. There was, I saw a headline here in Northern Virginia, the first teacherless private school.
Oh God.
AI. It's going to be AI taught. Private school, private charter school or some private
paying
school
for that shit.
That Governor Youngkin approved.
Because it's modern. You know,
he fucking approved. I think it's like K through 6, maybe, or maybe I don't remember. But it just came out this weekend here in Northern Virginia.
AI parents and are not far behind.
And it's gonna cost like tens of thousands of dollars.
I am dad bot. I will be working late tonight. I will be not operational.
Ted, it costs more. I remember when I read just at least the headline and the sticker price on it. I remember thinking, well, fuck, that costs more than a Montessori school for my kid. Why would I send my kid to it costs more than going to a Montessori. That's all I remember. And I thought, oh shit, I have to read this article. Now you've just reminded me. A teacherless AI school has been allowed to launch here in the state of Virginia, thanks to Governor Youngkin approving it for some ungodly reason. It's going to be the first.
Can you reach out to the governor's office and get someone to come on and talk to us about it?
We should, because it
I want to know what the logic is here. I mean, the logic is to fuck the teachers' unions, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Like, this is some local paper. I don't even know how I received it, but I saw something and I went to I don't know, and it spiraled into Governor Youngkin approved, for the school year of, I don't know, next year, I think, the first teacherless private school.
Always
fucking weird. Like, so we're not, because remember, he's going out of office this year, so he's already approved it.
Do you remember how, like, during the pandemic, the NYPD introduced the AI cop bot in Times Square?
Oh, the trash can bot or whatever.
I am cop bot. So I had occasion, pretty recently, to talk to.
Did you see it?
I saw it.
Did you see trash can bot?
Yeah, and I overheard a couple of cops talking about it. And so I was like, whatever happened? So I just interjected. I'm like, sorry guys, but whatever happened to that? And they started laughing. And they said that, like, they said that they brought them out to the Times Square subway station, and they never lasted more than 15 minutes before, like, people would push them in front of trains.
So this is,
and apparently, okay. and the other thing is, and I said, oh, how would you? Did you guys try to catch them? And they're like,
no.
Not really. No.
Like, this is just such
it's
bad.
Like Epstein. Like, I guess the cameras weren't working. Oh well.
I guess. Well, Ted, this is like, I know I know like our society desperately wants us to be like the Jetsons right now,
No one
but we're
wants
just
that. I mean, come on, Manila.
a
Like,
lot of
okay,
people
when you
do. A
talk,
lot of
no,
people
when
want
you
us to
if
be
you
like
went
the
to a,
Jetsons.
you went to Starbucks or to your local bar, and you said like, "Hey, so what would you like? How would you like society to change?" I bet the number of people who would say like, "Man, I sure would love to be able to afford to send my kid to college." I bet you'd get some people who said that. Some people would be like, "Oh man, I have some deal with my butt keeps itching. I'd love to go see the ass doctor, but I can't afford it." I bet they would love to see socialized medicine. I bet nobody says, I really want our society to look more like George Jetson. I bet nobody says that. Nobody thinks that.
No, I think there are a lot of people that like are that they cannot wait for things to be. I mean, look, like the iPhone, the fact that we're able to do this is very Jetsons, right?
That's true.
Like the
And it's
iPhone
cool.
is Jetsons, and it's great and it's cool, and they're working on
Although it was
flying cars.
honestly, Manila, it was a better world when we had to go to a studio. The studio was cool. I mean, come
The
on. I used to
studios
go
are
to the
great.
CBS Broadcast Center and pipe in or the Sputnik studio was great. I mean, I miss
It's
it.
great. I mean, like, yeah, you know,
And we got
I
paid
love
more.
yes, and I loved being in the environment, like you feel
Yes.
more creative, you feel more
Right.
like you're on it. But here's the thing. The thing with the Jetsons that remember the Jetsons came out in the 1960s, Ted. The society that
I was
invented the
there.
Jetsons,
Don't forget, I was there.
the society that invented the Jetsons, I think was a lot more innocent in how it perceived how society would interface with technology. It didn't think of New York City assholes kicking, cop bot into the subway trains.
As if they had talked to anyone who lives in New York. Hey, there's only 8 million of us. We're not that hard to find. Anyone could have told them that this would happen. I mean,
And
that's like sort of
look,
like whenever new technology is introduced in New York, like for example,
it's so
subway token,
stupid.
the new machines that sell the Metro cards and stuff like that, when they introduced
Oh,
them a while
I
ago, like
remember those.
15, 20 years ago,
Yeah.
everyone was like, literally, they were like, they have to be super sturdy because it's New York. People are going to hurt them. And so, or like when they introduced the city bike share program, it was like, those bikes are going to have to be like built like tanks because
Yes.
people are going to hurt them. So it's like that. I mean, and Copbot, are you kidding? That Copbot never stood a
So
chance.
stupid. No, of course not. But like, how did the idiots that are investing tens of millions of dollars into Yum Brand's AI drive-through? How do you not know that the assholes driving through Taco Bell at 2 o'clock in the morning, stoners, right? Going, hey,
True.
hey, Taco Bell, I give me 80,000 burrito supremes, dude. And that the AI is like,
Yes.
81,000. Like,
Processing.
how do you not know? And then the car just splits, right? The stoners get out of the drive-through lane.
See ya. Bye.
And then the next car that rolls up to pick up their order, they're like, now you owe us for 80,000 burrito supremes. And
Well, by the way,
the
I mean,
AI doesn't know what to do.
and
Like,
we do have to wrap it up, but psychologically, you're bringing up seriously, you're touching upon a very important point here, which is, so the company, like Taco Bell here in this case, is disconnecting itself from its customers by literally not having a human interface with the customers. And I don't think you can put a dollar value on that. You might say like, oh, I don't want to pay this person their $7.25 minimum wage,
so horrible. Yeah.
to sit in the window. But you know what you're losing is that personal connection with the customer. That's massive. Okay. And like, for example, I used to live in a place where it's the only place I've lived where this happened, where you called up the cable company and there was no phone tree. Literally, it's like Cablevision, and you'd be like, my cable is out. Please hold. It's like service. And it's like, and literally, and I got to tell you, I loved that company. And I never once thought about, oh, can I pull the plug? Can I go on Sling TV? Can I cut it off? But like now it's all like automated and shit. And like, I got to tell you, there's not a day that doesn't go by where I'm like, I fucking hate my cable company. I want to pull the plug, and I want to, and I want to, and just I don't want to pay them as much as possible. So I think Taco Bell and these companies, they're fucking up. I mean, it's like it's sort of it's like you want to see, you got to have people.
Well, I'm curious, Ted, and also we need to check if there's a word from a sponsor.
Oh yeah,
but I'm curious. I'm curious from the viewers and the listeners. Okay, I'm curious from the viewers or listeners if that matters to you when you go to, to when you're a patron of, I don't know, any fast food place, Starbucks or whatever, if they have those self-order kiosks, do you prefer that, or do you prefer talking to a live person at the counter or a real waitress or whatever? Do you prefer that, or do you prefer the humanless
For me,
interaction?
I'm going to say something totally racist. There's the one exception. I prefer dealing with people, except when ordering Indian food, because they always get my order wrong when I order Indian food over the phone.
Indian food, but not Chinese food, not Greek food.
Chinese people make no mistakes ever. But like, yeah, but like they're on top of their shit. They're highly caffeinated people.
That's true.
But the Indians, they're like, you get something that's like, I don't even know what this is. I ordered like a chicken tikka masala. I'm getting like a goat burnie or something. I'm like, and it could be good, and I'll probably eat it, but it's like, what the fuck? And
this is not what I ordered.
No, it's like almost. It's basically like, you kind of have. You don't really buy Indian food. You buy a chance at Indian food. It's a raffle. So I'm like, I like to do it online. It's much more likely to. I mean, I might be missing a paratha or something, but it's going to largely be okay.
Ted, that's no different than if the Indian place that you go to was using the AI.
Oh, that's true.
Because it would hallucinate your order anyway.
Hello, and thank you for calling Indian Food Bot. We are very happy to hear from you. So you have ordered goat burnie. No, chicken tikka masala. Yes, 3 goat burnie. It's like, no, chicken tikka masala, bitch. You have ordered beet chicken burna.
Like butter chicken.
Orders.
Butter chicken. Yes, 13 butter chickens.
Thank you very much. Your lamb bindi will be with you shortly.
Your lamb vindaloo. Like this. So then
thank you for calling Delibot.
So it's no matter what, according to Ted, no matter what,
day.
The Indian food is a gamble. Mm-hmm. Whether it's the AI hallucinating or, Mr. Rajesh taking your order, doesn't matter. But doesn't matter. It's a gamble. As we know, the Chinese food is always accurate. And now that I think of it, Ted, you are right. I have never had a wrong Chinese takeout order.
It's not possible by law. President Xi would send an assassination squad out to any Chinese restaurant in the world.
It's never occurred to me.
Got an order wrong. It'd be like, there's someone fucking up in Rio de Janeiro. Kill them.
It's never occurred to me. Like, I never thought about it, but I guess because
Chinese people are very
I don't have any complaints.
That's what it is.
I guess because I don't have any complaints. Because usually you remember when you call and you're like, hey, I just picked up my blah, 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 and I'm missing blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it's not Chinese.
I've never done that with Chinese food.
Me either. Indian, I bet it's happened.
Holy fuck. Never thought. The Mexican place, burger place.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow. I've never thought about that.
Burger orders get fucked up a lot. Often, if you order a double patty, you get one. And it's kind of like, I am Burger Bot. You are fat ass. I have decided to make you get one
single patty for you.
For you, Lardy.
No, this is where I think of like the Seinfeld, the soup Nazi, the soup Nazi episode. Like if he was AI, like how would it decide for you who gets the soup? Like, are you moving precisely in queue? Do you have your money tallied up, your credit card, like showing the bot, right? Like,
the soup Nazi was real, and it's a real person.
Was he a real character?
Oh, yeah, no, it's a real person in New York City. It's a real person.
It's a real soup shop?
It's a real business. Yeah, it went out of business. It stopped recently. And I mean,
No kidding.
yeah, oh yeah, it was a
I
real.
never knew.
Oh yeah, and then I used to go to this bar in San Francisco in the Haight district, where Haight, but it could have been Hate, because like the owner was famous for, if he didn't like the cut of your jib, he'd come over and he'd be like, "You Asian woman, get the fuck out," and you'd be like, "What?" It's like, "What do you mean?" It's like, I don't like you. Get out." And like, and so people, you kind of like had a chance at a drink. You didn't really necessarily get a drink, and you might even be like, "But I already paid for my drink. Don't give me your shit. I'm calling the cops. Get the fuck out." And so I have to say, I used to go all the time, and I never got kicked out once. So I always figured it's sort of like, it's like when someone has, it's like, when you have a friend who has a pet that's like mean, and like, but it likes you. Like I had a friend who had a dog that was like that. It bit everybody. It would growl. It didn't even like its owner. It growled at everybody. It was an asshole, but it loved me. It would like totally be like rubbing up against my leg, like I love you, loving on me. And I was always like, see, that speaks highly of me. Like I passed the test. No one else passed the test. It's like that.
Oh, I never knew that Seinfeld.
Of course, the other way to look at it might just be the dog has
real
terrible taste and I'm a bad person. So who knows?
Could be that too. One, I never knew that the Seinfeld that was real. I didn't know that.
That's famously. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I never knew. And I didn't know that businesses could do that, like in the Haight district, Hate.
Well,
that should be its thing.
But in New York,
it should be its point.
But in New York, there's definitely like some.
I don't like you. That. Get out of my business.
Be gone.
Get out of my establishment.
Yeah,
out.
there was a bar here in the East Village in New York called the Hollywood Bar, and it also was famous for its extremely cantankerous. Like years after the no smoking law went into effect, people are smoking up a fiend, and the cops would come in and be like, "We got complaints," and be like, "Get the fuck out of my bar." But we're the NYPD. Fuck off.
I used to go to a place like that over by you, Ted, called Crowbar. Years after no smoking went into effect, and they would bring in these underground, these like Eurotrash DJs. And this is like the early 2000s, so it was still kind of gritty. And I think it was in Hell's Kitchen, and it was years. I mean, no smoking had already happened, and they'd bring in like these like grimy house DJs from Europe, and we're all smoking, and it was like I was in Europe. It was like we're all smoking, and everybody's just like shitty and gross. And I mean, it's New York City in like the early 2000s, right? Like it was great. And we're all smoking. It was awful. It's awful, and it was great. But those were the times. And so, like you said, these are all human times, Ted. We didn't have Spotify to autoplay and mix, AI to mix audio for us. We had real fucking DJs coming in with real talent of scratching and mixing, and then like interchanging beats. Like that is some shit. I'm sorry, AI can't ever take that away and take the soul of music. And it can't. AI can create music, sure, but it's never going to have that kind of soul. It's the same thing when you go through I know as petty as a drive-through window, but when you're a 20-year-old stoner driving through the drive-through at Taco Bell at 2:00, and you and your friends are joking with whoever's taking your order, like that's
there's just something the same. Let me give you a great example, and we should wrap.
Not the same.
So in New York, on the subway, we now have automated announcements for the stations, right? It's this lady's voice, but it's always automated. If you've been here in the last 10 years, you've heard it. It's always like, next stop, 72nd Street, watch the closing doors. And then it's this is 72nd Street, change for the 2 or 3 across the platform. And it's very generic, right? But back in the 80s, it was the individual motormen who did the announcements.
Yes.
And a lot of them had a lot of personality. Now, some of them were awful and didn't even bother to do it because they were in a mood. So you're like, or they just, but then.
I had them not even announce the fucking exit, like where we're stopped at.
They'll do that.
Where they just don't say anything.
They don't say anything.
All.
But then I remember I used to take one on the East Side where this guy, it was always the same time. So I knew it was the same guy. And he'd be like, This is 86th Street. Last stop for uptown bound white people. White people off the train. Black people only. 125th Street. Next stop. And it was like, that was amazing. And it was true. The train would just empty out of white people, you know.
That's amazing.
Less so now.
That's
that would
amazing.
Be. But it was so like fun. And I miss the quirkiness, you know.
I'm a proponent of humans, obviously. Not to say that AI isn't great.
Think about we still have that on the airplane. Think about how great it is. It's like, this is your captain speaking. This is Captain Rall up on the flight deck. Tonight
they're all required to have a Texan accent.
All got to sound like Chuck Yeager. It's like we'll be cruising at 34,000 feet. Off to your left, you will be seeing St. Louis Arch, but not if I fly high enough. And it's great. I love that. It's like but you know, in the future, it's going to be like.
It's going to be the automated
It'll be
voice.
like, thank you for flying Delta Airlines. You fasten your seat belts. Put your seat tray up in its full upright position. Make sure your seats are fastened. You know, like it'll just be like that. They will do that.
Well, you already don't have the flight attendants telling you how to do your safety vest thing. Like you already now, it's just like they play a video. Yeah, they play a video and audio recording.
There's always, but I was always
but the attendant
as a kid, I was always confused by the
she's not talking anymore.
By the seatbelt where it's like. The little seatbelt where she's like holding it like that. And you're like, man, that person must be really small.
But that's already being replaced. So the flight attendants already don't say anything. The video, they try to schnazz it up with like choreography in the videos.
I hate that. I mean, like,
so gay.
Well,
because I hate musicals, Ted. I hate
musicals too. We have that in common. Virgin Airlines had the most notorious, like they always had those, those videos. By the way, in the joke video, right? What a fucking terrible idea. Okay, so that assumes, first of all, everyone's an adult. There's no kids who are just new to flying and need to like actually know what's going on. And then what about the foreigners who are on the fucking plane? What about the tourists, right? So like I'm sorry, if I'm flying like I don't know, Japan Airlines. I don't want to see something in Japanese that I can't fucking understand. I want to know where the exits are and what I'm supposed to do if the fucking plane goes down. And it doesn't explain that. It's insane.
Cutting corners. And Ted, we have a listener or a viewer on Rumble. Stoop Dog says, I had a wrong Chinese food order. I had to bring it back. She was annoyed and reluctantly made me a small version of the cheaper dish I ordered, then refused to give me any refund. I stopped going.
First of all, I'm going to call bullshit on that.
Or
that person was not really Chinese. That person was an illegal immigrant that should have been deported.
Posing as a Chinese?
A real Chinese person would never do that. You know, there's a lot of non-Chinese people who have Chinese restaurants. There's a lot of non-Indian people who have Indian restaurants.
That is true. And I don't like that, by the way.
you think it should all be like, no mix and match?
No.
Like I have to admit, I was really disappointed when I found out that there were sushi restaurants that are run by Chinese people. I was like, what the fuck is this about?
Okay. I have cousins in Texas that own a very in Dallas that own a very successful sushi restaurant. And they're sushi chefs.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean. That shit's
and I'm
wrong.
like, we're Lao and Chinese. Like, there's nothing sushi about our cultures.
And yet, like the best bagel place on the Upper West Side, and this is saying a lot, best bagel place on the Upper West Side was run by Thai people.
A bagel place?
The best. Had lined down the street. Like, yeah, crazy.
What?
Yeah, no, it's true. Also, they were cantankerous.
I don't know.
They didn't take cash. I mean, sorry, they took cash, but no.
They only take cash.
They only took cash. And like the health department came and fucked with them because it's true that they had like mice and rats and roaches. And they were like, finally, the guy was like, so the health department was like, they knew this is a very popular place. And they're like, just correct it and it'll be okay. And he's like, fuck you. That's how you are. I'm shutting the whole place down. He's like, he's the bagel Nazi. And he's like, shut it down, gone.
And he just shut his business down.
Fuck you. His whole family just went off. Yeah, he was a fucking
What the?
it's like totally like the soup Nazi. Yeah, it's called
What
absolute. It's called Absolute Bagels. You can look it up. There's a whole story. New
And
York
they're
Times
gone.
covered it. The whole thing. Yeah, he's gone. Bye. See ya. He's just like I can't take your shit. If you don't like rats and roaches, fuck you.
But people knew about the rats and roaches and
It's New
still
York.
lined
Every
up.
place has rats and roaches. We're like, whatever. Like,
Really?
Yeah. In the basement, you don't think there's rats and roaches in every restaurant? It's like
I
it's
guess.
like
I
yeah,
guess.
no,
I
there
don't.
are.
I know.
The
You guys
best.
are.
That's why the cleanest restaurants are the ones that have cats because they take care of business down in the basement.
That's just that is such a New York story, and probably the same thing because it's an old part of town is obviously Georgetown, because there's a similar thing, the way it's
Mhm.
structured in New York City with like the basements and
Mhm.
the things that open up and where people bring the trash out,
We're
you know,
going
like
so late here,
we're
but okay.
we're talking about food and talking shit about how awful people are. But anyway, we're done with that. It's a fun Tuesday show. I feel like that's
Tuesday.
see, it was a Tuesday show. Um, we started off with the horrid like nature of like American politics not wanting to
Manila,
help anybody.
we didn't talk about this Washington Post piece. We've got to tomorrow. I insist upon it. The
Okay,
Washington
I'll let Ted put that in there.
I'm just going to put it out there. So, guys, if you haven't read the Washington Post from over the weekend, they have an exclusive talking about US Israeli. They got the US Israeli PDF planning the ethnic cleansing of Gaza, and among other things, they're planning to basically pay. They're going to kick out the entire population, and they want to compensate each person with $5,000 for losing their
Wow.
homes. Mhm.
Wow, Ted.
So,
Wow.
no Robbie, no ads. Sorry.
Okay. No ad. So we'll leave that there. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow. It'll be Wednesday. Ted, I'm really liking this no Monday thing.
I know. I could live with that. We could be like one of those restaurants that's not open on Monday.
Well, it's like all Asian restaurants. We don't do Mondays. My
Right?
mom's restaurant wasn't open on Mondays.
Like, no Monday. Get out.
I don't know any decent Chinese restaurant that's open on Mondays. Just saying. True or no? True.
All right.
That's true. All right. That does it for us, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow. Adios, amigos. Bye.
Bye.